Welcome to No Match for a Blaster, a Star Wars role-playing podcast, Episode 7, Darkness Rising. I'm your host with a running joke and hoping it pays off, Ito Davis. We welcome you again to our podcast, and if you're new here, well, No Match for a Blaster is a podcast broadcast of the Morality Plays crew playing the Star Wars role-playing system. As per usual, if you're enjoying our antics so far, please consider liking and sharing us on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcast needs. Also, reviews help immensely. Now that all that's out of the way, let's get to the fun and jump to hyperspace. Booyah!
Previously on No Match for a Blaster. Hoban is plagued with bandits, pockmarked with military ruins from wars long past, and threatened by a new war with the First Order. Within the recesses of an abandoned fortification, residents Cassie and Camiya Ceryss find that these may be the least of the moon's problems. When searching a long-forgotten stasis pod, they discover a mass of melded circuitry and flesh. Marshal Drobash and his mysterious droid companion rush to their aid as the crimson beam of a lightsaber streaks across their vision, leaving the young deputies to wonder if they will escape the tomb-like structure or join the ancient dead in its halls.
We return! We have Camiya and Cassie in the underground secret facility, and they just opened up a metal Cadbury egg with a delightful person inside. Remi is coming down the elevator with his new best, mostly Durasteel buddy, walking across the hall, and was just informed that more than likely his friends are dead.
Well, it was good knowing us.
A gooey, semi-robotic, skeletal figure came out of the creamy center of the capsule, grabbed Cassie's arm?
Yes. Threw Camiya across the room.
Yeah, he threw me. He,
No, grab Cassie's little stick. And it turned out to be a lightsaber.
Yes.
Much to our surprise.
Grabs the 6-inch metal cylinder, grabs it at the top, his thumb, index, and middle finger wrap around the top. As you see the ooze kind of go away, you see the disturbing, human tendon and cybernetic hand wrap around the top of the lightsaber. You see small details kind of mesh together, and then all of a sudden the lightsaber turns on, and you see the eerie ruby red light stream forth. So we're gonna keep our Force and Destiny roll dice thing from last time, which we
have 4 light side and 3 dark side.
Yep. So you guys are pretty good. You guys got resources. I have resources.
Everybody can screw over everybody else.
How's everyone's wounds and things that aren't wounds?
Strain. I have 1 wound and 0 strain.
I have 1 wound, but I have 7 strain. I am particularly stressed out today.
Despite the fact that I was the punching bag for the last few sessions, I have 1 strain and that's it. I'm not sure how that happened. I got stabbed, twice.
I guess we can start it with turns. Yeah, we can probably roll Initiativo. I'm going to say that Remi and the unnamed Mr. Roboto is 2 full turns of running to get theoretically to Camiya and Cassie.
All right.
So let's do. Yeah, how's that sound? We'll start with a good old initiative. I don't think you guys have
prepared or unexpected.
I
feel like this is unexpected.
Yeah,
it feels pretty unexpected.
Which is
I don't think we expected this.
Vigilance? Is that correct?
Yeah,
that
is
right.
vigilance.
He might have expected it, maybe.
I mean, Ito, if you want, I know I'm going in, so I'll roll cool, even though it's worse.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're the best at this so far. We're caught flat-footed. That's what's happening.
Well, not super flat-footed. We got one success each. So...
I'm a little flat-footed. He just threw me across the room.
You're slightly bowed-footed. Does the guy who's definitely not a Sith Lord, not that we know the term, guy?
We would, right? Initiative? Like that's like a legend that people know.
Is it a thing they just use to scare children?
Okay, slot 1 is from Remi, so 1 PC slot. The next highest, Camiya and the bad guy tied. PC slot, bad guy slot, and then all the other PC slots. So the robot is one of those slots also.
Okay. Would you guys mind if I took that PC slot? Because
go ahead.
I might want to shoot him.
What you see in front of you is from the waist up, you see this goo-covered kind of... It looked like a person, but as time goes by and the ooze kind of drips off of him, you see more of like the skeletal structure, and you can see like very organic tendons and muscles, but then you also see gleamings of bones and structure within that. In his eyes, there are very sunken eyelids and eyeballs, and that part is very organic. But then some places, like over his left jaw, you see that it's just straight metal. There is no organic part to it. He stands there, right hand kind of is still extended out from when he grabbed the lightsaber and turned it on, and his left hand is off to the side. But he is still waist deep in the healing pod. You are essentially an engaged range. You're 2-3 feet away, so you're very short range.
I thought he threw me.
Oh, you're the one that got thrown away. Yeah, no,
he threw me across the room.
Yeah, so you're at the doorway.
Which is probably short range.
Yeah, short.
Yeah. I would like to shoot his right hand, the one that is holding the lightsaber.
Ooh, called shot makes me use a rule. So I'm pretty sure called shot is 2 black dice.
Is that what it is? Yeah. It's, she doesn't entirely know what to make of this situation. This is a lot of stuff to take in at once. But what she does know is that thing looks like a weapon, and it's really close to her cousin, and she wants to get it away from him. So she wants to shoot that hand. Because she may not entirely know at this point, if that's actually, integrated into his robot hand or anything.
Looks like you get 3 setbacks to do a cold shot, but you can aim
3?
for 1 to knock one of those off.
Oh, okay. So, instead of rolling a blue die and a black die, it says just, cut them out and...
Yeah, they negate each other out.
So 2 black die and a purple, right? Just 1 purple because it's short range?
Is
that how that works? Or 2 purples?
Adversary.
Ah.
So he's an adversary 2 at the moment, which means you would increase the difficulty die up by 1. So difficulty is going to be a purple and a red.
I have started us off diving right into the rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am...
You got this.
My difficulty is 2 black, 1 purple, and 1 red. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Here I go. I succeed.
Woo, you succeed.
I succeed for 2.
Okay. What's your damage?
Let me go remember my damage. My damage, I believe, should be 10. I think my damage is 9 on this one.
And you got 2 successes, so the second one adds 1 damage.
Yeah, that's why I said 10. So I do 10 damage.
What part of the hand are you aiming to, wrist? Are you aiming for the lightsaber?
Yeah, kind of. I kind of want him, I want him to drop it. So, I'm aiming for the actual hand that is holding the lightsaber.
Okay.
She wants to make him drop it if she can.
And you're a heavy blaster, right?
She has a blaster rifle.
Okay. You describe it. It doesn't come off. He doesn't drop it, but it does a lot of damage to that part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. So previously, he had just kind of raised a hand and she basically had skidded across the room. But she managed to land on her feet, bent knee stance, that, she was ready to bounce back from it. Looked strangely, like she was really ready to just fall back into that kind of fighting stance. And what she sees is this guy pulling out a giant laser sword thing, like not 5 feet from her cousin. So basically, here's the Kark. The gun up, aims, and shoots just right, basically hits him in the knuckles. Little steam, little blaster burn. I'm sure there's, if there was any, like, skin looking left on the robotic hand, that is not there in that spot anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's, like, curled away.
So when you do it, you actually see the robotic wrist goes a little limp. Actually, give me a perception. Easy with a black die, because this is weird. You're close, you can see the things, but do you comprehend what it means?
I don't know, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, technically...
Technically, you did not succeed.
I technically didn't succeed, but I got a triumph.
Yeah.
Tell me,
which the triumph counts as a success.
Yeah, but
the success part got canceled out by the failure, so I ended up with, a triumph, not a success, not the success part, and the advantage.
Yeah, we could do. I could tell you a thing within the story for the triumph, or you can increase the difficulty of his next action by upgraded.
Upgrade the next action?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
so we're gonna give him.
That's fine. You can upgrade the next thing for him.
So it's his turn.
He's definitely pissed off at me then.
Yeah. So
that's fine.
On his turn, he climbs out of the pod, takes a step or two forward, is standing just over Cassie, looks at both of you as the goo trails behind him, and you're almost surprised that he doesn't slip on it himself. He raises his left hand, points at you, and he's going to use a force power.
Okay.
Force power.
Oh yeah, he generated his force pool.
Yep. And
that's horrifying.
He has to do a discipline check, which increases.
Well, he got 4 light side and 2 dark side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this guy uses the light side, does he? He succeeded.
So he got 2 successes and 2 advantages. Good news is he did not crit.
Good.
So he's gonna do. So he raises his hand, and you feel a blast of dark energy hit you in the chest. The damage starts off as his willpower, so that's only a 4, but he's going to spend his other points to increase it.
Is that wounds or strain?
This will be wounds, and it looks like you do get to soak. So he's going to add 6 to it.
He's adding 6 to it?
Mm-hmm. So damage of 10.
Okay, that hurt. That hurt. So I took 7 of that. I'm at 8 now. That really hurt.
He lowers his sword arm. The saber is still on, and you see the goo dribble from his upper arm and then cover that wrist again.
So what does it feel like? Like, do I get thrown backward? Do I just kind of feel something in my chest? Like, what's going on?
For mechanics, it would be similar to Force Lightning, but he's not throwing lightning at you. He's throwing like almost necrotic, with heavy, deep emotional ripping to you. But your armor does slow down. So like you'll see like on your clothing, you'll see decay and tearing and fraying happen where you were hit in the chest. PC slot number 2.
All right, Cassie. You say that, but I have no idea what Cassie wants to do now. Holy.
I mean, you can always, take a knee, or you can always bend the knee.
I am not protesting.
There's always 2.
I'll help you. Cassie, run.
Oh God.
Give me a perception medium. if you're taking your turn.
I will take my turn. So that's 2 purples?
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
not bad.
Yes. A moderate person.
Success! And 2 advantages.
Okay. So, that screaming you heard in your head earlier, when you actually rolled, like, light side while you were walking through the halls, and it was super spooky, you're hearing that scream again. But now with your success and advantages, in your head, the same tremble that you hear in that scream in your head, you see the lightsaber shake with that same kind of tremor.
Okay.
If you wanted to try a really hard lore, you could try and figure that out if you wanted.
Yeah, if you let me try
It'd be
it.
4.
4. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Totally
You
fail.
fail. But you have advantages.
So I have no idea what's going on. But, so I'm going to go over... I mean, he's not... Is he grab me?
No, he's standing over you.
Okay. Then I'm going to scoot over to where Camiya is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to push her towards the door and shout, "Run" at her. Turn and... She intends to follow running.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's going to move over there, then do her action. So she can't run quite yet, but I just want to be clear, I'm not leaving her here to die.
Gotcha. So I'll tell you what.
So don't kill her, please.
So
And I've used my maneuvers.
you use your turn, you kind of like, you get up, you move to her, and then you kind of move together a little bit. When you pass through the threshold of the doorway, those giant mounds of bits o' people to the left and right of the doorway, you hear that scream again in your ear, much quieter, but it feels like 20 or 30 of them from each side. And in your head, you're sure you saw movement.
Oh, so Sith, oh Sith, oh Sith, oh Sith. We're going to die.
Next PC slot.
That would be Remi and the robot.
Yep.
I'm assuming the elevator or turbo lift or whatever it's called are we still in there, or would you have to spend a turn in there?
Doors just opened.
Doors just open.
Yep.
Okay. Imp, to me, leave that rat.
Imp turns his head slowly to you and just like a dog dropping a ball, just looks you dead in the eye, just slowly opens the mouth and it rolls out of its mouth and falls on the ground.
Come on, Sparky, let's see if we can save these girls.
You hear the pew! Ow!
And with that, he takes off running.
Okay. So you run, so you cover like 2 increments. So you've covered a large portion of the hangar bay. You see the ship, still not named, but very large, impressive, red and black and silver-esque ship. You see lights inside. The hangar, for the most part, is powered up. You see a power generator off to the side from da-da-da. And you hear the echoes of your steps, clapping against the... oh gosh, I forgot what concrete is in this world. Duracrete. Something like that. Yeah, it's Duracrete. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Droid does not run. He will move, so he only moves like a quarter. He moves half of what you did. But you see him, like, he opens up the left side of his chest compartment and looks like he's doing some mechanical things. But he's behind you now, and I don't think you care.
Nah.
Or you could. I mean, the guy who has the massive chest cannon is taking a sauntering pace. Top of the round. PC slot. So, new round. PC 1. Mm-hmm. You can be anybody you want. But the other guy goes next. Just so you know.
I mean, I'd like to... I think we should run.
Go,
Honestly.
run,
so,
go.
But, like, she's not, it is a grab your arm and we're both running thing. I feel like we've both agreed at this point that we're running. Like, yeah. I'm okay sharing half the action, so both of us are moving for both these things. But, like, yeah.
Works for me.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll say... So you guys are moving, like, much... Like, really, you guys should be moving separately.
Well, to make this easier...
I mean, do you want to go first, and then we'll both take...
well, that's what I'm saying. Why doesn't Remi go first?
Yeah.
then he goes, then we go together.
Yeah,
that
seems,
way,
yeah.
it works narratively.
Yeah. So Remi can go first.
Okay. Remi quickly scans the room for anything useful as he continues to run towards the sound of gunfire or blaster fire.
Give me an average perception. Like, there are things that we've already set up, but I will give you an opportunity to, if you roll a triumph, you might find something really cool.
That's 2 successes and a threat.
Okay. So there's the things that we've already set up. There's a massive generator, cables running out through the whole place. Some of them going into conduits, into the walls. Massive, pretty big ship. Pretty dang big ship. There's also, like, a very pulled apart, like, husk of a ship. So, okay. The main ship, the one that Cassie's been working on, has, like, a turret on it. But there were weapon systems on the ship that she pulled apart that she wasn't able to salvage the guns, but did take the munitions out of it and put them off to the side. So I'll say that you find like a stack of like essentially a stack of launcher grenades. So they're about the size of a thermos, and they have a big ass like pin on it. So is there explosives? Is that a skill? No, it's not.
I think so.
To throw something is just ranged light.
You're able to. So they're in these like very large not bandoliers. They're in these long like stripper clips of grenades that feed into a vehicle. But you can grab 2 of them. So you have 2 of these like thermos-sized anti-ship grenades. What you can do with them is kind of like, you think maybe if you shoot it just right, it would explode, or you could do a mechanical check and stuff like that, but you find that.
Okay. Okay, well, I grabbed 2 of them then.
Okay. I do. Threat. Okay, I got a threat. Alright. So that's your action. You can also have a maneuver.
That's both of those things, right?
I think that, so if you do a roll, it's an action. It's supposed to be. So I'll say you still have a maneuver. So you can move you can move another, like, quarter distance kind of a thing.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So essentially you have 2 more normal movements to get to the rest of your party. So you're like 3/4 through the hangar. Oh, it's my turn. So he moves across the med bay, crosses the threshold of the door, stands just a few feet ahead of the mounds, looking down at the 2 of you. You're about, 20 feet away. And he raises his hand again, and he's going to do a power.
If you hit me again, I will die.
Okay. So he raises his hands, and you see Cassie, you were so sure you saw movement in those mounds. Then you actually see them move, and you realize that was probably in my head, because what you're seeing is they're like vibrating and shaking and pretty violently starting to move around.
Sith necromancer.
He has his hand open, and all of a sudden he closes it into a fist, and you see a flurry of 6 objects about the size of a person's head, very angular, fly through the air and go towards the 2 of you. So this is going to be pretty hard.
Oh, well, that's going to suck.
Okay, so he only gets 1 hit. So this is kind of like a cloud to a degree. Like, it's kind of an area, shotgun-y kind of thing. So you see these objects kind of fly through the air. They're very angular. And one sinks into like your upper thigh. As you look at it, you realize it's like a very angular, almost like it's a combination of a medical droid, which are always terrifying. They have all those tools on them, and a bit of a mouse droid. So what you have sticking in your leg is the front end of it that almost looks like a beak. It's a very long, kind of like 4 hypodermic talons all coming together, and that's what's sunk into your leg, and arms are kind of spreading from around it, trying to like claw at you.
So I will shriek in pain, and then I will wonder how much damage you did so I can soak some of it.
So it's only going to be 4. It's only going to be 4, and you can soak it. And the other thing, so like you see the ooze like dribble past his wrist, and then you see that the tendons that had receded from his wrist are now mostly there again. PC slut.
We run.
Run.
Okay, so from where you are, you can go. One movement is essentially go from where you are in the hallway in front of the med bay. You can get to the entrance, and you can get essentially to. You can be one movement away from Remi in the hangar.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll do you one better. Okay, we're gonna run through till we get to that hallway where we found the dead bodies.
Yeah.
And the doorway that was the end of the hallway that I had to open up with the dead bodies.
Yeah.
That's opposite the hangar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close that.
Ooh. Okay. So that's gonna be a skill.
Since I had to get that mechanically open.
Yeah.
I should be able to mechanically shut it. Now, I don't know he's a Sith Lord that could probably use magical Sithy powers to blow it open again. So, mechanics or computers is what I'm getting at.
Oh, it's going to be... Ooh, let's see. I'm going to say if you use mechanics, it's going to be 3, and if it's computers, it's going to be 4.
Now, this is worth spending a light side point on.
Oh, okay.
What the cark is going on here, Cassie? What are you doing?
Just run. That was a lightsaber. Run. Go. And when she gets...
You had a lightsaber?
No. Yes. Maybe. Now's not the time.
He took that from you. Where did you get that?
And she slips around as she gets through the door, she kind of grabs the door to slow down. And gets it cranked closed with 2 advantages, even.
Cassie, let's go.
Yes, I'm coming. I can't see what we would do with the advantages that would make any sense in this situation.
Maybe you hotwire it to shut, and it actually not only does it close the door, but closes some blast doors as well. So it's extra thick.
Yeah, adds a black die to him trying to open it.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah.
I'm totally down for that. Unnamed Mr. Droid moves again.
I believe Remi has named him Sparky.
Sparky, yeah. He finishes assembling looks like a weapon in his hand from his own chest cavity. So you see Cassie and Camiya come through the blast doors. The blast doors were only like 30 feet in front of you. Like they were, you can see them pretty clearly. You see this whole interaction, them spazzing out like crazy. Hey, but you know what? They're not dead. Robot doesn't know everything.
Okay, so Remi sees them, yeah?
Yes.
Will it take everything to get to them, or will I still have something?
Just a normal movement. Give me a perception.
At what difficulty?
It's gonna be easy. Just give me an easy perception.
Yeah. A lot.
Okay.
Wow.
4 successes and an advantage.
You perceive the hell out of it.
So you look at you see them, because you're pretty far away. You see like a large portion of the like white slabbed wall that is around the large blast door kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of the light and you see like light kind of start to touch the edge of the top of the hangar, and you can kind of see a little bit of the ceiling. And on the ceiling, you see a little bit of movement, and it looks like a whole bunch of like mouse droids, but they're not. Mouse droids are dumb little creatures that scurry around on the ground, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. But they look like mouse droids.
But they're on the ceiling.
Yes.
Well, Remi may know what that is, but Brandon does not. So he makes his way over to the girls, and as he does, he hears over his shoulder, "Screech!" Yeah, that's a great idea. And so he runs up and he's like, "Hey, girls, looks like y'all got into a little bit of trouble here. Let's get out of here." And he takes the two grenade things that he just found.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? He'll set one here with the stun grenade. So he's kind of basically trying to rig up a trap to that he can either trigger remotely or whatever.
So triggering it so you can set it off. I'll say that's like a hard mechanical, but if you want to shoot it, I'm going to say if you shoot it, all other things aside, to set it off, I'm going to need at least one success and at least one advantage to set off the explosive grenade with the blaster.
And then, I mean, I guess you can tell me if I can do this now or not. I'm going to put the other grenade outside the other door. So that the door leading from the hangar into this room.
Well, how are you going to set it up? Are you just putting them there and you're going to shoot them later?
Yeah, I'm just setting... Yeah, exactly.
Then that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Because essentially, like, you're starting from in the hangar, you walk up to the first door, you put the stuff down, you walk up to the other door and you put the stuff down. I'm okay with that. Yeah, and you'll be like in the hallway space. Bad guy's turn, I believe, right? He does a thing that you don't see. Something else happens that you don't see, and then it's a player's turn.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. It's just need. Okay, it's locked. We need to go.
Yeah, we need to go. Let's go.
I'm going to be a terrible power gamer and use a light side point. Because these dead bodies are here.
Yes.
And I want to be able to make a quick glance by using that light side point.
Yeah.
To determine what kind of awesome loots I can steal from the body real quick. Bodies. Okay, there isn't like a lightsaber that's all light-sidey waiting there to be picked
There's
up
not
by
a lightsaber
a passerby.
there.
Damn it.
That's too convenient.
I know.
All right, so on the person who is, space monk, who knows? So you see robes that are very worn down. They're like simple kind of cloth, but over X amount of years, it's kind of deteriorated and kind of just fallen apart. But with him, you see boots that are there. You see a belt, and kind of like not a Batman belt, but like there are pouches. Because if you're wearing a robe, you're not exactly like, you know what I mean. You don't have pockets, so he's got pockets, but they're on a belt. So there's a belt that you could snag, or there's another person who's in stormtrooper-esque armor. It is like rubber gasket and locked, so it's essentially like a spacesuit to a degree. It is pressure. It is space worth, spaced worthy.
But it should be much lighter.
There's I'm going to say that you succeed in a medical check. It's like he has a sealed coffin. If there was like a 150-pound man in there, there's 150 pounds of goo in there.
Gross.
Yeah, just and the other one is like it's desiccated to the point of skeleton. You see, so the cybernetic eye is like anchored into that skull bone. The cybernetic forearm is like anchored into that bone structure and stuff like that.
Okay. Then she's gonna go. Remi, grab the armor. Cammy, grab the cybernetics, and Cassie's gonna grab a belt. The Jedi belt. That's not a utility belt at all.
It's like a Jedi fan.
The cybernetics are like into this person.
You gotta grab a skeleton.
Well, but it's a skeleton, so you're just taking bits of bone with you.
What?
Well, I don't have time to.
Why are you thinking about this right now?
I'm gonna just grab the belt and I'm running for the ship.
Sure, I'll like grab something. Why are we going to the? Does that even fly?
I really don't think this is the time to discuss this. Let's just grab the stuff and run, okay?
Fine. I'm running.
Oh, and once we're all out, Camiya, why don't you take a couple shots at these things I placed here at the door?
I'll run.
So, Cassie, how long do you think it'll take you to get that ship up and running?
Immediately. Probably.
Immediately, probably?
I kind of like the sound of that then.
I've had the engines on before. It works. I don't know. Leave me alone. We're running. Cassie's faking it a little bit, but I do imagine for the record that because this is something a mechanic would do, is that she has fired up the repulsor lifts and like brought it up off the ground at least just to verify that it flies, and like fired. Just, well, it probably doesn't go anywhere because it's a big ship, but just taken off the ground, and then probably turned on the bigger like interstellar engines, but obviously not triggered them to go anywhere, but just verified that they work.
Yep.
So it should be more or less ready to go. All the switches are in the right position to be like, let's turn this thing on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Camiya doesn't take forever with the checklist. So,
Robot is now essentially pretty close to you guys. You see him. He moves normal. You see that his actual like left arm and upper left shoulder is gone, and you see that he's cobbled together. Like he has this like weird, almost steampunky kind of weapon that he has pressed against his right shoulder in his right hand. It's about like 4 feet long, and it looks pretty crazy.
I guess I should go so I can get out of this room.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So you told me to grab the armor, right? Which
Yeah.
I'm assuming I and Remi are assuming that you just meant the stormtrooper. So
We're at the top of the round.
Remi had just pulled the stormtrooper.
Easy.
He just grabbed it by the collar and just pulled him out the room and moving as far as he can.
You gave me an easy athletics, and you got 2 successes. You're fine. There's this weird like sloshing bit, and like
Ew.
And all the weight now is like at the waist and legs.
Yeah, I'm already working out how you can just tether down the armor and open up the vacuum thing into space and just let it suck all that out.
I want it
That's
to
a
be
great
like
idea, too.
I want it to be like whenever you're like trying to take out a garbage of terribleness like out to the curb, and it snags on something in your house. Like no, and it just starts to drip as you run.
Ew.
So bad guy's turn. So you move away. You get to essentially where they are from last turn. So you're like, you're 1 movement from going up the ramp. You're in the hangar. You can see, you can still see down the hallway at the far blast doors, and you see what everyone one of the things that people liked out of the old the prequels. You see a crimson line start to heat up metal in the dead center of the door, and you start to see it drip away. His turn, he does that, and as Remi, as you start moving closer to the unnamed ship, you see a thunk about 5 feet away from you to your left side, and you look to the side and you see this like very blackened metal, angular, like quasi medical droid, mostly smashed, but you see those 4 hypodermic like knife slash talons sunk into the star concrete. And the rest of it's kind of like smashed, but you see it kind of writhing. You look up and there's movement on the ceiling. Oh, and you get that really cute mouse droid kind of. You did a good job of it. What was it, Brandon?
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go. Yeah, you hear that, but it's like like it's like a really sad like segment from Price is Right. So you see that, and you see Scurrying, and no one else has noticed it but you.
It sounds like Remi asked me to take a shot at those things, and we do not know yet that the molten metal is going to explode them. So I feel like I get onto the ramp to get into the ship, and I stop and turn to face them, like ready to shoot it when I deem he's come through enough that it's going to do damage.
It's all the rest of the pieces. So Cassie,
I'll even take the strain of the double movement.
Mm-hmm.
because I want to get all the way up into the co-pilot seat. And then for my action, I am going to start running the checklist and getting power on and getting us powered up and ready to go.
Piloting planetary.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we are going from basically completely off to flight ready.
But but what how difficult?
It's going to be average, and normally anyone else who jumps in the ship, I'd give them 2 black. But you familiarized yourself with it, so it's only 1.
So I did get 1 success, getting us closer to being ready, and then I get
some threats.
3 setbacks. So three threats.
I'm gonna take maneuver. A number of mouse droids start to come down the walls instead of doing the full, leap, which allows Camiya to see those because you're not in the ship. You're looking down the hallway, so you can see those same mouse droids.
Cassie, have you seen these mouse droids before?
A little busy right now. A little busy.
Oh, Cassie, I'll retcon it. I'm going to say, because you soaked all the damage from the thing, it didn't... no blood. You're fine. Mr. Robot. So he walks up, he actually goes down to one knee and fully shouldering the weapon, and you see it starting to hum with energy.
I was going to tell him to come back here, but I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Top of the key.
Remember?
I think we give it to Cassie. Cassie can continue to try to do the ship. Yeah.
Woo!
Whoa!
Oh, dang.
With
it
all
is ready.
Manner.
With some more threats.
But that's a total of 5 successes.
Yep.
So this thing is ready for atmospheric flight.
Yep.
Or even orbital flight. Okay, guys. Time to go.
Camiya, you feel the shudder of the engines like the impulse engines. Sorry, not impulse.
Repulsor lift.
Repulsor engines kick on. Dust getting kind of kicked up, and you see almost like a fog machine. It's kind of pushing like a 3-foot high cloud of dust away from the ship. So you actually, the Mr. Droid who's on his knee, you really only see like it actually makes the accumulating energy at the middle and barrel of the gun take this kind of sickly, kind of orange hue to it, and you can now see his eyes kind of glowing with pinhole bits of red, but you see the cloud of dust make it more visible.
So the droid looks really cool. Right
Yeah,
now.
looks really badass. Yeah, because it's my character. Bad guy's turn. Bad guy's turns. Fun. Oh, we got threats too. The wall, they're coming down. They're like 2/3 the way down the walls, and you see that some of them are kind of hunched back on like a few of their little mechanical arms, and are directly pointed, and have brought their 4 hypodermic points together. And you remember that whenever you had a cloud of these coming at you, that's the stance it took before they were launched at you. And then so you see the glowing warm part of the door where the saber point can be kind of seen. The center of it starts to warm up more and more and more, and you're actually seeing like large, like massive handfuls of molten. I only know Durasteel. I'm sure there's something harder than Durasteel. Durasteel like drip away and then gloop and glop, and you can actually like see. You can see that the hole is big enough, so you see the lightsaber clear as day, and he's moving it around where there's no more metal. But you can essentially see from his jaw down to like his upper chest, and you can see that part maneuvering through that smaller hole right now.
So he's got like his upper torso, like we can just see it, or is he actually like leaning out, like he's about to climb out?
He's not leaning out. No, he's not leaning out.
Well, either way, I think now's a good time to spin that light side point.
Okay, so a large clump rolls away as he's moving the saber around, and it rolls forward, and you can see the small pool of molten metal slowly creep its way towards the 2 grenades. It reaches stun grenade. There's a brilliant pop of light, a dull kind of pah that you kind of feel in your chest, even through the corridor, and then a much larger, deep thud, earth moving, that you kind of feel. And the cloud that was kind of laying on the bottom 3 feet of this area is just like all of a sudden kicked up and moved very far away. You wait a moment, second or two goes by, people who were looking down that way, your eyes kind of adjust, you covered them for a second. You look, and where there was a whole bunch of molten is gone. So essentially, you had this kind of molten donut being cut out of the door, right? What the blast did was it ate away another foot and a half of door all along that donut, and then pushed it through the hole. So you can actually see that the entire back wall has partially cooled slag Durasteel spackled against the back wall. He is there. You can see that his right hand is from the bottom of his right wrist up to his right shoulder is slag glued against the back way, and that he actually has a large piece of Durasteel slag on his head from above his brow, curling up around his head.
Does it look like he's moving?
He is moving, and I would give you descriptions on what the skeletal looks like, because when you did damage to him before, the tendon and stuff pulled away, but you're very far away. So I'm gonna say you can't tell that much. He's tiny.
That's fine, but we can see that giant explosion just happened, and he's still moving.
Yeah.
All right, Droid Man, let's get out of here.
So he still is at the knee. He doesn't seem to respond. Yeah, I'll say that his maneuver essentially is that you start to see his chest pull away from his arm. The bat droids, some of them, a small percentage of them, start to lunge, and when they jump off of the wall, some of the armatures kind of spread out into this thin kind of membrane. Give me a quick medical. Give me a easy medical.
2 successes and a threat.
Yeah, so literally, you can actually have medical droids. What they're doing is that they are able to, create artificial flesh, skin grafts, and they're literally using this to kind of, lunge and kind of, bat wing spread and come at you. I am going to attack you with, they're kind of like minions, kind of like a swarm, but they're lunging from a pretty, they're sugar gliding you to, they're trying to sugar glide you to death.
Terrifying.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put one on each of you. I'm gonna use a dark side point and upgrade the one against Camiya.
Please don't kill me.
You
failed with advantages.
Yeah. Ooh. So I'll give the next one a blue dice. 3 or 4 come, and a whole bunch of them miss, and they kind of pepper the area around you. The next mini swarm is going to go after Remi, and they don't hit either.
Yay!
Yeah.
Woo!
They start moving around the unknown droid. Now we're back to PC slots. The droid kind of the energy from the front of the barrel starts to coalesce, and you hear this really tight, and you see a single line of orange energy peel off from it, sink through, perfectly thread the needle through the hole in the wall, and crash into the chest of the unknown bad guy. And it hits with no force; it just goes through. I'm going to use... So it does hurt him a lot, but I'm also going to use a dark side point and say that tears the rest of the shoulder free.
Alright, well, I've told the droid to come in the ship, and if it doesn't come, then I'm not going to drag myself out there to make it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go in the ship and go find the cockpit.
Yep.
We blew that guy up twice, and he did not die.
Yeah. Also, let's go. Ship's on.
So,
there's your seat.
how long before we can get out of here?
As soon as you're on board.
Sparky, let's go. Come on. Are there guns on this ship?
Yeah, but it's never been tested or...
Well, it sounds like a good time. Sounds like a good time to test it.
Okay.
Remi goes back into the ship and climbs into the turret.
It's the right side turret. Go to the right side.
On it.
Left side's got some spare tools and laundry in it.
So can I just make it to the turret? Is that where we're on? Or?
Yeah. You and Camiya can get to your stations. So
I climb in. Whoa, retro.
I would like to volunteer to go first, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
Not to interrupt. I would like to quickly figure out how to open the friggin' door.
Okay.
Please open the door.
You have. I'm gonna assume.
So-
I'm gonna say that your co-pilot chair has scanners. Because what the heck else is Chewie doing?
Oh, there's all kinds of things for a co-pilot to monitor.
He's listening to like Spotify or something. Like, okay, so
Exactly. He's DJing. Right. I mean, that's obviously what he's doing.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, there should be displays and stuff,
Yes.
and basically it should be able to link up to the door.
So you see, like on your display, you see that there is a like a 4-part pull away airway up to the surface that's supposed to be there, and you see it, and it's not responding right now.
All right, so we're gonna try hard computers.
Mm-hmm.
We still have some destiny points.
You do.
So.
2, 3. Oh, we're certainly spending one. All right, computers, please don't fail me now. You did not fail me mostly. The threat is that maybe a couple of the spider droids actually got onto the ship or even into the ship before the ramp closed. Is that a good use of the threat?
Deal. You have tribbles. 4 mech droids on board. Where are they? They are in this area. You have very high ceilings. It's going to suck.
Okay, but I got one success and 1 threat, so it should get the door open in theory.
Door opens.
Sweet. All right, that's the way out. We should go.
The mouse droids start to swarm over the robot.
All right. We're not taking our droid friend as she's like,
Go.
getting stuff up. Okay.
Go.
I go.
The doors are opened, and you punch it. I'm gonna need a average flying with 2 black.
All right. I am a skilled jockey, so I get rid of one of those black dice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep, with 1 success.
With 1 success.
Nothing narratively interesting happens.
Right. Okay, so here's what I'm picturing. It's dusty. It's kind of dark lit. The ship kind of slowly lurches upward, and as the landing equipment starts to close and the landing ramp starts to close, we orient ourselves towards the exit shaft, and right as we get to the exit shaft, Remi shoots the turret at the box of munitions that was sitting there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't kill us.
What?
Explosion.
What's my difficulty?
Do it.
So it's going to be gunnery. Difficulty's going to be easy. Easy difficulty.
Easy difficulty.
But you know what
right.
I'm gonna say easy with 1 black die. Because this ship, like, until you get used to this ship, there's always a black. Like, if you make coffee in this ship, it's so old. You're like, oh, there's a black die for it.
Okay, so 1 purple, 1 black.
1
Is that what
purple,
you're
1
saying?
black. Yeah.
Can I spend a maneuver to aim?
Yes.
And gunnery. Here we go. Pow pow.
Woo!
All
Nice.
right. 2 successes and an advantage.
All right. How much damage does that do?
Yeah, I mean, let's see, can my advantage be, I don't know, I think it should maybe cause, like structural damage here. I mean, I think it should cause a cave-in, basically.
Woo.
And collapse, like, a lot of the hangar. It will, like, you will hear the cry of, like, 100 bat droids. But you don't see the guy. And
what's the sound of 100 bat droids sound like?
Bum, bum, ba-dum. Man.
Well, for 100 bat droids, they're pretty mellow, really.
They're very. I mean, like if you spoke Troy to be like,
when you edit this, you could just take that little clip of you making that sound and put it over itself a whole bunch of times.
Yeah,
it's cool.
In J.J. Abrams' style, the ship spits out, sees daylight for the first. No, it's night. It was dusk. Dang it! So it shoots out in the night
and into the sunset.
Into the sunset.
I imagine that like there's this quiet scene of this like desert mountainous terrain at night, and then all of a sudden there's this gout of fire that comes out of nowhere, and then this starship just comes shooting out of that.
So, there's like a shepherd with like chewing on a piece of wheat, watching over some nerf, and he's just chilling and watching the sunset, and then there's the explosions of what behind, like, you know what? No, it's in front. Like there's an explosion coming out of this old building, and a ship shoots out of it. He looks at his moonshine and shakes his head.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a review on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcast from. If you have a comment for the show, you can find us on Facebook or Twitter at No Match Podcast. No Match for a Blaster is a podcast by Morality Plays. Star Wars, Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny are made by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our theme is by Kevin McLeod, sound effects by Tristan Longren, Vindus, and Akmov. And as always, I would like to thank my amazing players. Brandon, playing Remi Drobash, Claire, playing Cassie Ceryss, and Bobby, playing Camiya Ceryss. And I absolutely look forward to seeing all of you next time in a galaxy far, far away.